customer that you're selling to. I'm going to do mine to, let's see here. I'm going to do mine to Smith Supplies. And then you select the item that you're selling them. I'm going to select this dropship item. So on the back end, at that item master level, I've checked that little box, that little dropship box. And you'll see over here on this side, oh gosh, for some reason my Zoom it isn't working, my little red drawing tool. But you'll see over here, we're going to create a PO, and the selected vendor is that default vendor that I have on that item record. So you know that preferred vendor on the item record. When we create this PO, it's going to default to your preferred vendor, but if you had another vendor that you can order this item from, you can also select that vendor here as well.
Now, one quick question. Is this possible down the line to automate the whole process to where if it doesn't have it at the first vendor, it automatically goes to the second vendor?
Yeah, so this is going to pull from the item. So if you have those items, or if you have those vendors set up on the item, it's gonna default to your preferred vendor. But if you had another one on here, I don't know if we can keep track of if they have it in stock. Is that what you're thinking about? Like
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking is some of these vendors have that ability to where we can go live with their inventory.
I believe it's called EDI. Is that what
EDI? Yes. It's is this EDI friendly? Compatible?
Yeah, I believe it is. Let me check on that one. So we have some other people. I am so lucky that I sit next to some people that are incredibly smart. So I'm going to check with them and see if they've seen that before and if they have a solution for it.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm guessing there's something. There's got to be something out there. I'm sure you all are the first app for that. So
You know
we'll figure it
what?
out now.
Yeah, we're pretty much a different company than a lot, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. I'll see what I can find. There
Okay.
might be something out there. Alright, so I'm going to jump back to the sales order really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and save this guy. So two things are happening. First of all, we're creating a sales order. So the sales order is going to allow us to actually bill the customer. Second thing that's happening here is we're actually automatically creating a purchase order as well. So we've generated a purchase order. We're going to have that purchase order go to your vendor automatically. And then, of course, we've got that original sales order here. So if I come in here and take a look at this purchase order, you'll see the sale that this purchase order was associated with. And this we can actually have automatically go out to your vendor as well. So as you create, these POs, we can have them automatically emailed to your vendors. And you can also do it one-off. So let's say, it looks like I didn't have this one go automatically, but let me just go ahead and email this. So let's say I'm emailing this PO to my vendor. Netsuite has a full communication management system built in. I sent them a blank email, but that's okay. So as those emails are generated, you're actually going to see when that email was sent, who it was sent to, if there was any attachments on there. So, a vendor calls and say, hey, you never sent me this PO, we didn't get it, we have no record of it. You can come in here and you can double check and say, oh, actually we did. We sent it to this person on this date, here's the email.
Nice. Now, quick question. Let's just say this customer that is looking at sending over products, that we have to use, let's say, 3 different vendors required for that one order. Does it create 3 separate POs automatically based on the item that's pulling up?
It would, yeah. So if we jump back to this sales order, so I just have this one line level on there. But if you wanted to have multiple lines on here for multiple items, then you would just select the additional PO and vendor on the line level. So I don't think I have any additional dropship items on here. But yeah, that'd be what happens. So if these are different vendors, then you'd have different POs.
Gotcha. You like?
Yeah. All right.
That makes
cool.
life a little easy right there too.
I have a quick question. Is there any way that, like, when it comes in, it could automatically just map the order into NetSuite to where we wouldn't even have to type in any of the item numbers or anything? It could just grab that slot and put it right in the NetSuite?
Possibly. So a couple options to get orders into the system if you didn't want to enter them like we just did through import sales orders through the use of that exact same CSV import that we were talking about earlier. We can also connect via API. So oftentimes what we'll see here is, people kind of continuing to work with some of these manual processes to start. So entering these orders kind of one-off or maybe importing them, and then start to pursue some of those additional enhancements, things like API integrations down the road. So what that does, you just kind of get familiar with the system, get used to the system, get comfortable with Netsuite, and then we create those additional enhancements. And that kind of goes back to this stair-step approach that Mike was talking about earlier. Get on the system, establish, and then let's create these additional enhancements. Let's keep going with this. Let's get you to the best possible spot at the time that it makes sense.
See, and I'm all in that game. Now, my biggest problem right now is we are now starting to hit our peak season, like I was explaining before. Making the transition right now, as soon as we're done with 4th of July, we're going to be blazing until the end of September. And it's what it is government releases the last part of their budget, and they have to spend the money, or they don't get the same amount next year, right? So it's a last minute push for everybody to do whatever. What I would like to do is set this system up the way I think we want to get it set up, and I want to go to my bank and say, hey, this is what we need. What are you going to help us with? You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to present the full package, because we just upgraded our whole internet system based on using the cloud. So we went with, what is it, that gigabyte, what is it? The firewall systems. We're trying to get prepared for this online system, and I wanted to have, the full dollar package. What I'm looking at, each and every implementation, I'm sure is going to cost money up front. I'm thinking, correct? Or is it?
It's all a la carte, right? For each package that we add on, we pay a certain amount.
Yeah, so as far as... sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Claire. No, it's all right. That pricing, whenever there's... we do have different modules that, do have different costs. Most of everything Claire is showing you right now will be in that initial starter. And then we have what we call phased approach later on that we'll get in more into other modules that will be outside the capability of, what's shown here. So, we definitely can, start talking about capabilities once we get through, specifically the starter bit. And if you're really looking to, go and invest, beyond in the full system to take to the bank, we can give you a better feel for what it would look like down the road.
And you know what? And maybe that's how I'd like to approach the bank. Say, hey, this is what we're doing right now. We're going to go into the initial phase. Phase 2 is going to be this. Phase 3, we're all in. Or however you guys think we ought to go. We all of a sudden are sitting in a sweet spot that could go real sweet, or it can, we don't know. So with all these new changes going on, I want to be ready for an explosion. And the way we're operating now, we'll be buried in a week. If all of a sudden everything started hitting, we'd never be able to keep up. So that's what I'm looking at, is how we can possibly automate as much as we can, get it directed, mapped into the right spots. So all we have to do is make quick decisions on, yes, this vendor's going to take it, no, or just do some maneuvering on, back orders or whatever, or, European shipments or whatever. I want to cut the man hours down to where we can actually start making money instead of doing robotic work. And make sense?
1,000% it makes sense. And like I said, especially as we go, Claire and I'll make sure we have notes of what's outside the system, and if we need to have additional discussion around that, we wanted to make sure you guys got a feel for what's there in starter, and if you need, we'll go through an additional calls on like what pricing would be around if you did get into some phase 2 and start thinking about what that might look like. Certainly understand what you're trying to achieve there. It's just a matter of going, if we're going to do it as a one
affordable way,
as a scope this month, or if you're looking to get in and get some of this basic functionality that will help you guys start moving. And I think you can still look at if you wanted to have something where you're going to the bank and have them help you out, we can start what that phase 2 and 3 looks like as well. It's just, I think that comes down to, some future pricing discussions. And then but we can definitely, let's keep tabs on, with some of the automation you're talking about, going back to, into your suppliers and knowing their inventory and that sort of thing. If you want to go into all the software, I guarantee you can make your bank's eyes pop on what you want.
You know what? I got to tell you, like I told you the first time I talked to you, you've got the right product. Now I need to figure out how to make it work in this company with, here, I got to sell this project. It's really what it boils down to. And because right now, with the way the government's been, they have not been negotiating with each other at all. So the money's just been out just kind of tight. And I know there's going to be an explosion anytime because the whole system did change. We're set up for the new system, but I don't think we're set up for the impact of how it can hit. And my biggest fear is how to eliminate the man hours of the stuff that I had mentioned. And I see some of these features are nice, but I don't know how we're going to implement them into saving those gazillion hours of man hours. It was basically with all the inventory sheets and the pricing updates that come through. They out of nowhere, they'll give us a price update on 2,000 items, and it'll have to be up in the system within 8 days, right? So everybody's got to stop what they're doing to make sure everything's updated, and that's just one line. As soon as one company makes that move, everybody else makes the move right after them, and that's all we find ourselves doing is trying to keep up with updates, and we can't get new items in because it's a manual thing, and doing any kind of reporting of what's actually out there. And that's a manual, one by one, customer by customer, item by item, man hour, and that's why I was bringing up those things. If there's any way to implement some of these ideas onto a spreadsheet, so we can just, hit up, spreadsheet of Hewlett Packard, everything we're selling, everybody else that's selling the same stuff, where they're at, where we're at, how many we sold, and then put everything in percentages and kind of just make a 3-week process into a 30-second process, and that's my goal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And absolutely. And like I said, if we need to come back and dig deeper into another piece of functionality and have Claire and I go to the team to find some more, dig deeper on how automated is it, right? I mean, a matter of is it just flowing information on pricing, where once they change in their system, it changes in yours. Yes, there's also how much time do you save if we can just create that template and have folks upload it. It may not be down to 30 seconds. It might be a couple minutes.
Well, I can handle that too.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean, we maybe, again, we'll get through as much as we can here, but I definitely, we're hearing you loud and clear. I think it's a matter of just,
international.
As Claire mentioned, either getting a prototype
It's set up for international, so you get different exchange rates for currencies.
How that flows through. I mean, I feel like we're somewhat close, at least, right, on being able to get items from someone formatted into a spreadsheet and then be able to upload that through a template that you've created. Yeah, I mean, are we hearing that correctly?
I'm sorry, was that aimed towards me? I didn't know if you were talking to John on that one. Sorry. One more time.
Yeah. No, just for all of you. I mean, I know you're mentioning, the man hours, and I said, depending on, there's different levels of that automation. Whether it be something that's just completely flowing through the system from when they change their system to ours, that's outside the capability of what we're showing you right now. Obviously, that may evolve any number of things later, but as of right now, what we're showing is a template that would, we can create where if you guys get new orders, you can shape that into the template and upload that over a series of minutes. It still should be, does it seem like we're getting close there?
You know what? It seems like I don't know how much time saving I'm looking at from what I'm seeing right now. Right now, it seems like kind of the same procedures of what we would do with QuickBooks so far, in a different format, and it's online, which I love. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not seeing the huge time or. Am I wrong? There's nice features. Don't get me wrong. I like what I'm seeing.
But to make us completely automated to where we don't have to touch all this data anymore and have to get our hands involved and
See,
make
we're
it sloppy
doing so
somehow.
much redundant work, and that's how government is. They make you do stuff over and over. You know, and what we're trying to do is eliminate that frickin' process because I don't feel like hiring 300 people to do a 10-man job. It's ridiculous. But that's how they work. So with that being said, when we get how can I put it? We deal with so many different companies now that they opened up the gate. Our biggest problem is getting that information into the system so we can get it ready to lift up to the contractor so he can approve the deal. That right there, the man hours, I literally have to take everybody off their projects. We can't move forward. We're always crippled putting in data input. When orders come in, whether it's FedMall or whether it's GSA, they come in the same format, same way every single time. If there's a way we can take their template and grab their cells and map it automatically into our cells, so it would take away that whole process. Sorry, I got dogs here. And if we can get rid of that manual process, and when you're dealing with government, they can have locations switched by one little digit. Everything else looks almost identical, right? And one little digit can switch you all the way across the world, and you can lose thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, is have the machine identify, oh, there's a switch here. Let's get smart about it, change, instead of just, oh, it looks like the same, and it lets it go through. I'm trying to eliminate the human error of this business. Because when everything's alpha, kilo, limo, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking to foreigners, a lot of the times the alpha can sound like a cat. You just don't know. So we usually have them, send it over in form, and then we'll get it that way. And that's kind of what we deal with. It sounds. It might. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. So it seems like it's really importing up those items, right? Just always having the latest, greatest information, So this is your list of items. So we just always want this to be updated. We always want to know what's happening. You always want to know, what these vendors are charging for these.
Yes.
Is that kind of, okay.
Yes, and see, we're hooked up directly with the manufacturers that deal directly with the government. So, and what's so funny is, with the government, all of a sudden they'll just change their mind. You don't know why, right? They could have just put the equipment right in. So you think this stuff is going to be there for the next 10 years because they like to use everything to death. And then all of a sudden, in 3 weeks, all of a sudden, everything that they just did will change, right? And they'll put a completely different system in. And we've got to make the change quick enough to where we can get the business, because if we don't, by the time we get the change in the system and get it through their system and get it approved, we already missed the game. I don't want to get into specifics, but when you deal with items for the government, it can go from apples to machine parts, or boats or jet engines. You just don't know what the demand is, and that changes literally quarterly, depends on the budget. And it's a weird business. It's a great business, but it's hard to keep up with the computer side.
Gotcha. So, before we kind of go to that full automation path, just want to be clear, so it is really easy import that information, given you have it in Excel. So if you get 10 Excel files a day with updated information, you can import 10 files a day to keep it going. So, that is a manual step. There's that's a touch point. I'm thinking it's not going to be that bad though. So like I said, we'll do those CSV imports in templates.
Good.
So if you get it the same format over and over again, which sounds like you do,
Yes.
what we'll do is we'll just create that import template to match exactly how you get that
Oh,
information.
wow.
So then all you do is go in, select the file, and import.
So are we referring to like their POs? Let's just say their POs always come in the same format every single time. Is there a way to get that? If I could shoot you out what these templates look like, and map them right into your system.
Yep, a list of POs. Yep.
Get the heck out of here. All right.
I'm trying to think if I have any examples in here. I don't know if I do. Oh, here we go. Yeah, a PO upload. So here's a good example. So if you wanted to import POs, it's really going to be that exact same thing. See? So here's, the